Shalom, Haverim. Hi, friends. It's Miss Eve. How are you? Happy new month of Cheshvan, Chodesh Tov. Yes. So today we start the new month of Cheshvan of the Jewish calendar, and I wanted to share with you why it's exactly in this month that I decided to publish my new book. Actually, it's the new edition of my first book, the Shabbat Treasure, but it's a revised and expanded edition over 10 new illustrations, links to the music of the story, which has been reimagined, and I'll be happy to share more about why I did that. But it has to do with growth, myself, everybody's, I guess. And I wanted to share with you something. So, heads up, this is going to be in English. En español viene otro video aparte. Okay? So this is going to be in English, and just wanted to say I always wanted to do a little bit of stand-up, so it might be stand-up-ish. Let's try and see how it goes. The idea is that, hi, hey, how are you? Thank you for joining me. So I'm talking about the month of Cheshvan, and we're starting that today. So Chodesh Tov, again, happy new month. And honestly, guys, Cheshvan has bad publicity. We need to do a little bit of marketing. If Cheshvan were a person, we will be, it has to do a little bit of rebranding, if you will, create its own Instagram page and go live. And, why am I saying that? Because Cheshvan is called by our sages Mar Cheshvan. And Mar means bitter. Bitter as in maror, in Passover, right? The bitter herbs, yes. Or as in the story of Ruth, Naomi, which means no unpleasant. She, after all of her tragedies, right in the beginning, sort of, or when the story begins, she asks when she comes back to be called not Naomi, but Mara, from bitter. So it's called Mar Cheshvan. And why is that? Because it has no holidays. So, so that's, and some people say, I even heard that this is the full name, Mar Cheshvan. Oh my. It has no holidays, and we just came from Tishrei, which is true that we had so many holidays. We had Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and the 7 days of Sukkot, and after that, God says, please stay a little bit longer, like the song, stay just a little bit longer, right? So, because it was one of the regalim, right? They will do the pilgrimage, right? They will go to the Jewish people will go to the temple in Jerusalem. So, and then our rabbis added Simchat Torah when we end reading the Torah and beginning again. So we had such an intense month of gathering with family, of prepping our souls, hopefully prepping food, trying to digest the food, dancing with the Torah, everything from fasting to eating where you can't do that anymore. Everything from being in the highest of joys to being in the deepest of self-reflection, right, and accountability. So we're coming from that, and then of course we have this month of Cheshvan where it's so that's it, I imagine if these were the summer vacations, if you will, right? You take a trip to Jerusalem, and it's like, oh, we have to start over the regular year again, and it's just the routine again. But you know what? First of all, it's nice to have a relaxing time after all this roller coaster, especially if you're clergy like I am, or you work within the Jewish community. It's a very heavy month, you guys. So now it's a time where you see, your clergy maybe taking some time off, or you might find your cantor doing groceries, just in shorts and chilling. So this is the time where we just, take a pause. So that's one of my arguments. And secondly, and I think this is the most important thing, and this is why I chose to publish my new book now, right, on Cheshvan, Davka, precisely on Cheshvan, is because Cheshvan does have a holiday, not only one, but four. And only not for the same one or the same, 4 consecutive days, but for different ones, because it's the same one, but in each of them we read a different part of the Torah, and it has its own flavor. And of course, I'm talking about Shabbat. And I know what you're going to say, or maybe not, but Shabbat is not a Chag, a Jewish holiday. It's technically an, Oneg Shabbat, the day of delight of Shabbat. But we do call it Shabbat Kodesh. It's Kodesh, it's Kadosh, it's holy, it's very special, right? And we don't have one, we have 4. And moreover, when we don't have distractions from all other holidays, we can focus on Shabbat, right? Shabbat and Tishrei, if Shabbat were a person, might be hard for Shabbat to step aside and say, you know what? You take the lead, you take the spotlight, right? Even when a holiday is on Shabbat, Shabbat changes, has to change, has to welcome, even though it's honored, right? We change that. We don't sing all of the songs. If it's Yom Kippur, it's called Shabbat Shabbaton, the Shabbat of Shabbat. So Shabbat has to take a step aside. And now in Cheshvan, why don't we celebrate, right? Shabbat in a very special way. It's like Shabbat, your month has arrived. That's my proposal. That's my, what do you call it? Soapbox, right? Moment. So that's one. And you're thinking, all of the other Jewish months, they have holidays? Well, it's interesting because no other month is called Mar anything. And some of those holidays are actually very solemn days, right? We have Asarat of Tevet, it's a day of fast, or 17 of Tammuz, right? When we the Churban, the destruction of actually was the destruction of the wall surrounding the Yerushalayim. That's when that happened. So we have 17 of Tammuz, and of course we have Av, the 9th of Av, right? Tisha B'Av. And that is called Menachem Av, the month of Menachem, of comfort. And we have 7 Shabbatot from that, of comforting Shabbatot from that until Rosh Hashanah. So Av, it's also the prophecy when Mashiach will come, right? Precisely on that 9th of Av. And of course we have Tu B'Av, right? The 15th of Av is the day of the celebration of Jewish love. So it's not 100%, even though our sages say it's the moment to be more sad during the year. It's not 100% sad moment. It's not Mar. Now, I have to share with you something. When I was young, I was very lucky because, like my good friend Leora always says, I was Mora Leora. Shout out to her, sending love. I was very lucky because in school, they taught me that, and I don't know if this is based on any of the rabbi's teachings, but there's so many wonderful Jewish wisdom, and I will take it. I think it's very interesting. Mar Cheshvan, Mar also means Mr., Sir, right? Like Mr., like Miss Eve, Mar. So I was taught that because 4 month of Cheshvan doesn't have its own holiday, we call it Mar Cheshvan to elevate it. Mr. Cheshvan, you're here, right? And I thought that was very sweet. And moreover, on Passover, we read about 4 type of kids, 4 type of sons, daughters, children. And one is the Tam, one is the simple one. And I think that's super valid because when we step into what is simple, right, we can appreciate what is. That's sort of the concept of Sukkot too. So if Cheshvan were a person, we will be saying to Cheshvan, hey, don't go watching what everybody else is having. Don't complain because you don't have, a zillion holidays one after another. Don't complain because we don't have any special foods on your, characteristic like matzah or blintzes or sufganiot. You know what? Look at what you have. You have 4 beautiful Shabbatot within you, and we'll celebrate each one of them. And it's, it's a very nice, peaceful time of the year, God willing, where the weather is not too hot, not too, like the Goldilocks, right? Not too hot, not too cold. It's a moment to take a step and just enjoy what is on Shabbat. We know it's my favorite holiday, and I'm very lucky because I have 4 of them during Cheshvan, 4. So anyways, that's why and this was a conscious decision to choose to launch my book on Cheshvan. And I hope you help me in spreading the word. And I hope you also help me by purchasing the book, especially on November 4th, because we will be helping with your purchase. You will be helping the Jewish Community Services of South Florida. They do an amazing job, honestly, and it's my privilege. I did this when the Shabbat Treasure book was first out in 2019, which wasn't on Cheshvan. So this is also a tikkun. This is also a correction we're doing during Cheshvan. So let me know what you think. Leave me your comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts, your insights, the teachings that you may have regarding this special month, and we appreciate what we have and celebrate what we can. Yeah, just that, and especially may we celebrate the treasure that is Shabbat. Shalom, everybody. Happy month of Cheshvan. May God bless us all.